In this video, I'm going to be talking about a couple of sessions I've had at Monk Lakes. It started poorly, but got better and better, and led to me getting a new PB. So sit back and relax, and you're going to listen to me babble on about some amazing session that I had at Monk Lakes. So let's go. So first of all, I renewed my ticket. These are on members lakes. This is Lake Snipe and Garda. They're on the membership venue at Monk Lakes. I fished them loads and loads. I fished back and forth between Garda and Snipe, mostly Snipe because there's a lot more bigger fish in there, and I really wanted to get something decent. I've spent years and years trying to beat my PB of 28.10 mirror and a 28.8 common, which I actually caught at Monk Lakes on Lake Snipe. So, you know, I had a really good start when I first joined and beat my common PB, but since then haven't beat a single thing and not even got anywhere close. So as soon as I got my ticket, I wanted to go and quickly do a night because spring had started and it was looking good, it was warming up, and I knew that if I focused in a few swims I might produce something big. Spring is a very good time of year to catch something big, so that was my plan. And I went straight for a corner swim that I fished many times over. I had a few really good sessions in there last year where I had about 3 or 4 sessions in a row where I had 5 or 6 carp each time. And on my last session on that corner swim before it went really cold, as we got towards winter, I lost a 30 pounder by the net. So I knew it was a place I needed to go back to. I knew it was a 30 by the way because I recognised it, because I know someone that's caught it a few times, and I thought I recognised it straight away and then lost it, couldn't believe it. Which I was absolutely gutted with. So that's the reason, you know, first spring session, first 24 hours on there, let's go straight into that swim. And I blanked. I caught absolutely nothing. I saw one sign of a carp and that was it. Pretty much, I think only like 1 or 2 carp came out of the whole entire lake while I was there, by the way, so yeah, it wasn't fishing very well. So I gave it a little time, and weather started looking better. Yeah, it was getting more sunnier, temperatures were coming up a little bit. Why not go back and go straight back in that swim? Sounds a bit crazy after blanking, but the weather started to improve. Went back in there, and I actually did all right. Headed my bets on the baits as well. I changed different baits and tried the different ones. I think I had 1 ocean fruit, 1 on lobster, and 1 on the new spice corn. Like I said, I had 2 on the island, 2 different areas, and then 1 on the margin. And the island, it's just all about the island. I couldn't get nothing from the margin. I kept working it, couldn't get anything. It all kicked off on the island. I done really well. I had 6 bites in the end. Biggest one was 22.5. I also had a 19 and an 18, and yeah, I said a few smaller ones. But pretty good session overall. I was quite surprised about how many mirrors I had as well, because that lake doesn't produce that many mirrors. Commons are the common ones, which is weird for most lakes, but it is. You're more likely to catch maybe 4 or 5 mirrors a whole year on there. So yes, I thought it was a bit unusual. I think I had like 3. So after that really good session, I wanted to get back down, but I was a bit disappointed that my biggest one was 22.5. It's still a decent fish, I'm still happy with it, but I know there's bigger fish in there, and a bit worried that it wasn't going so well. Okay, but not that great. So my next session, I decided to go into a different area. This is a swim that some people call the lazy boy swim, which is like literally the first swim you see when you pull into the car park. You're like, oh yeah, I'll fish there. That's literally the first swim, but it's shallow. In the winter it can be 2.5 to 3 foot deep, but at the moment it's up to sort of 3.5 to 4 foot, which is deeper, but it's still the shallowest part in the whole lake. The weather had got even better as well. I had 3 or 4 days of sunny weather, 18, 19 degrees. I think it was 20 degrees just about on one day as well. When I arrived, it went up to about 18 on that day. Again, just for a quick 24-hour session, that's all I've been doing up there. and things were looking good, but again, I wasn't seeing any signs. Did see a few signs of fish jumping further along in the session, mostly further back, actually, quite further back on this lake. But you've got your own sort of water in this swim as well. You've got a lot of water to yourself, which is really, really good. So it means I could spread the rods out and hedge my bets on what was going to happen. Again, I was thinking about what hook baits to use as well. On the last session, the spiced corn smashed it. I had most of my bites on that. I think I had one lobster and then the rest came on the spiced corn. Couldn't get anything on the ocean fruit, and it's one of my favourite hook baits as well. I'm like, come on, why is it not working? Ocean fruit is brilliant. You know, I had spod mix of all sorts on my last sessions, but this session I decided to make sure that I had a good mix of particle, boilie and pellet all together. I even put like an extra crumb in there as well to make sure it clouded up the spot, and I really wanted to get them going, and I really wanted them on them spots. So when I went to that corner swim, I was like, right, where am I going to go? Obvious, put one on the island, right? Island right in front of me. I also decided to put one in between the channel, between an island and the bank. They're not that far apart, so I thought I'd put one in the centre, so as they come up through it, I might get a take. And also I had one down the margin to my right, on a spot that I do know that produces, but I've never fished it before. This is actually a swim I've never been in before, don't know anything about it, but I just went for one on the island, one in this little channel to my left, and to my right there's a nice margin that goes all the way down. I have one on there, on a spot that I know that does do now and then do bites, and can get going if they really get in there as well. So yes, I knew what I was going to do. Island started kicking off first, spice corn again. I had a little one about 17 pound, pull it straight back. Another one, 22.5. Good start. I was well happy with that. Then I had a take on the margin to my right, the long margin. Yeah, couldn't believe it. Really good fight, felt a bit more heavier. 25 pound mirror. I was well happy with that. I was like, 25 pound mirror, I'll take that. They're getting bigger. They are definitely getting bigger. Not much happened the rest of that day, actually. It was quite warm and sunny, and like I said, I wasn't sure the spots and stuff, but I did produce a few carp, which was really good start. But that one that I had in the channel, you know, I kept saying I had one in channel between this island and bank, and I thought it'd be really good. It was shallow and it felt quite firm as well, and that was an ocean fruit as well, and I couldn't believe it. Nothing happened. About an hour before it got dark, I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna put it on the island. You know, last time I had two on the island and one on the margin, and the islands kicked off the most. So now that I just thought, you know, might as well change it up. So I put it on the island, got it as tight as possible, a couple of spombs over it. Half an hour later, goes off. I couldn't believe it took off. Absolutely crazy fight. Probably the most powerful fight I've had from a carp. I couldn't believe it. I thought I had a marlin on. One point I thought, is there a catfish in this lake? Because I've got it. Because it was absolutely mental, this fish. But then after a while it sort of slowed down, came towards me, went up and down a few times, popped up, and I thought, that's a big fish. Put the net under it, have a look at it, absolutely massive. Hit a potter chunk, I mean super chunky monkey, whatever you want to call it, big old fat carp. I thought, decent one, decent one. Let's get that out. So I got it out, and because at first I just thought, might be close to my PB, this one, might be close. Yeah, I was wrong. I was completely wrong, because I put it on the mat and I was like, yeah, that is actually a really big fish. This could be close to 30 pound. And when I weighed it, I couldn't believe it, 33 pound. Absolutely ridiculous. 33 pound common, PB common. I could not believe it. It was crazy. I was shocked. Absolutely shocked. Now it was getting dark, and my camera is absolutely terrible in the dark. It goes all fuzzy. It's not a night camera. So I barely managed to take a picture. It was a little bit grainy. I was a bit unhappy with it, but it was a female, and it was full of spawn. You know, they're getting very close to spawning, and I thought, I'm not gonna retain it or anything. I'm just gonna quickly take a picture, get it back in as quick as possible, which I did. I did try and film some stuff, but it didn't work out. I don't know why, but the camera just really struggled and didn't really focus properly, and I was really disappointed with the footage. But at least I got a picture of it. Well happy with that. On the ocean fruit as well, one of my favourite baits as well by Carp Basics. I could not believe it. It's one of my ones that I've had more confidence in now. It's my most confident bait as well. But my new confident bait is now the spice corn. I've had quite a lot of bites on that. The 25-pound mirror that I had was actually on an all nut as well, wafter. They're all wafters, single wafters on their own over a spod mix. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy session, mad. Now, I was in a bit of a daze because I was actually filming something else while I was there. Yeah, it kind of shocked me that I had that one. I was focusing on trying to get other bits of filming done before it literally went dark. But then, yeah, so the night came around, and I decided to bring the rods in. Now, everyone's going to say this is mental. Why did you bring the rods in? Why did you do that? Because I'd caught what I wanted. I wanted a 30-pounder from this lake, and I caught it. You know, I don't think it's going to be many fish more than's going to beat that. 33 pound, that's absolutely crazy. So brought the rods in and decided to have a nice sleep. Got up at first light, raring to go. Got all the rods out, all on the money, put bait over each one. I'm anticipating to take it, anticipating it. I'm seeing carp's backs everywhere. I'm like, yeah, here we go, here we go. Get one run from the margin. I'm like, I've got another take. Pick it up. This feels big. I couldn't believe it. Another big one. I knew it was a big one straight away. I knew it was decent. Popped up as a mirror. I'm like, no way. Put the net under it. I'm like, that is a big mirror. I can't believe it. This is ridiculous. This is the ridiculous session. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's in the air. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, unbelievable. Got on the mat. It was an absolute corker. Big old plates, mirrors on it. Oh, absolutely gorgeous fish. I mean, for that lake as well, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous fish. Couldn't believe it. Amazing. Chunky, really thick mirror. Yeah, when I weighed it, it went over 30 pounds. I was like, nah, way. 31 pound mirror. Beat my PB. Beat my PB mirror and my common PB as well in the same session. Insane, right? I've been waiting years and years and years for this, and it's happened all at once. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, can't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to put the rod back out, by the way, because I started seeing signs of spawning. It was splashing up in the corner, splashing up on the island, and I thought, how are they spawning? This is mid-April. How are they spawning? I was expecting maybe another 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before they start spawning. I knew they were close. But yeah, mid-April, actual spawning, 100%. So yeah, but I got what I wanted, and and then I thought to myself, that's why they're here. They're waiting for spawning. The females came down after the males were there. I had a few males to start with, and then yeah, they started coming down into that area. It was shallow, it was warm. I noticed the water was extra warm at night as well. I felt it quite warm. You could feel that sort of heat off of it, and I just knew that something was going to happen, and they started spawning. But I managed to catch one fish before they started going, and then that was it. That's then me done. There's no point of fishing for spawning fish, just leave them to it. But yeah, absolutely crazy session. Couldn't believe it. That's 3 sessions at Monk Lakes on Lake Snipe, and I'd done it. Started with a blank, got better, and then it went absolutely insane. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so yeah, that is my PBs beaten. Now obviously I'm going to try and beat that. I will try and beat that at some stage, but for now I'm well happy with that. I am planning to do an autumn campaign at Monk Lakes. So I'm going to do 5 or 6 sessions over the autumn and try and see if I can catch something decent. If I can catch another 30, that'll be brilliant. That is the whole point of doing that autumn campaign as well, to try and catch them as they're getting bigger towards winter. But I've caught them just before spawning, which they would be at their biggest weight. So, you know, they might be a bit more smaller during the end of autumn, but we'll see. Maybe they will put on the pounds and maybe we'll catch them at decent weights as well again. But yeah, I'm going to definitely focus on there in the autumn, but for now I'm going to give it a little break, and let's just hope that I'll get something that decent in the autumn, and that video will definitely be going out in November. So yeah, we'll see until then if I can catch another big one from Monk Lakes. So all I say is thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, don't forget to check out all my other videos, and also don't forget to put a comment.